Imagine a continent rich in resources, culture, and talent, yet still struggling with poverty. Every year, billions of dollars in aid flow into Africa. And yet, the gap between wealth and poverty often seems to grow. Why? Could the very money meant to help actually be holding Africa back? Today, we explore the hidden consequences of foreign aid and why well-intentioned generosity sometimes makes things worse. Africa has been the focus of international aid for decades. Governments, NGOs, and even individuals send money, food, and equipment, hoping to fight poverty, disease, and hunger. The stories of struggling communities are heartbreaking, and the intentions are pure. But here's the paradox: despite trillions of dollars sent over the years, Africa remains disproportionately poor. Some economists and historians argue that the problem is not the lack of resources, but how aid interacts with local systems. Money seems like an obvious solution, but it can create dependency. When governments or communities rely on external aid, local industries struggle to compete. Example: if food is donated to a village, local farmers lose customers, causing crops to rot and families to lose livelihoods. Long-term effect: communities become dependent on aid instead of developing sustainable markets. Furthermore, when large amounts of money flood into economies with weak institutions, inflation can occur, making everyday goods more expensive. What was meant to help can end up hurting those it was intended for. Chapter 2: Corruption and Mismanagement, 5 to 8 o'clock. Another challenge is mismanagement and corruption. When aid money flows into countries with weak governance structures, some of it may never reach those in need. Government officials or intermediaries sometimes divert funds. This can weaken trust in local institutions and create cycles of inefficiency. Aid can unintentionally reward corruption, because governments may become dependent on external funds instead of generating revenue from taxes or encouraging local business development. Economists talk about an aid trap. When countries continuously rely on foreign aid, they may lack incentive to reform economic or political structures. Countries may delay difficult decisions about infrastructure, taxation, or governance reforms. Aid can sometimes prop up failing systems instead of helping them improve. This trap can make nations poorer in the long run, even as short-term relief is delivered. Aid can unintentionally stifle innovation and entrepreneurship. When free or cheap goods are provided, local businesses face unfair competition. Small companies can fail, reducing jobs and innovation in the region. Example: donated clothes from abroad often destroy local textile industries. People become recipients of aid rather than producers, limiting economic growth. Giving money is not inherently bad, but how it is given matters. Effective alternatives include investment instead of aid, supporting local businesses, infrastructure, and education. Conditional aid with accountability, ensuring funds reach their intended recipients. Empowering local communities, letting locals lead development projects. These methods focus on self-sufficiency rather than dependency. Some African countries have successfully grown without heavy reliance on aid. Rwanda, focused on technology, infrastructure, and governance reforms. Kenya, investment in local entrepreneurship and tech hubs. These examples show that smart investment and local empowerment can lift communities sustainably. Money alone cannot solve poverty. Without strong institutions, careful planning, and local empowerment, aid can unintentionally make Africa poorer. The lesson is clear: help must be strategic, not just generous. Africa's wealth is not in aid but in its people, resources, and ideas, and unlocking that potential is the true path to prosperity.